deal with this technology, But needless to say, man, that life is life is what it is. It just I say it is a living memorial for everyone. This is just a point of expression. It is can be very difficult to keep on moving on, but my body gesture says something differently. So, but needs to say, you have to always try to figure out ways to navigate and be able to negotiate with people, and that's going to require both are going to require some adjustments, psychologically and physiologically, you know, pertains to how one functions, and in addition to that as well, how one operate in this society. I like to say that DIO, the DIO is the determination in operation. Yes, determination in operation. You know. Yes. As we look at the society as it pertains to what is called violence, and some call it gun violence, I think it is a powerful sister by the name of Frances Quelch Wilson who talks about of violence being I mean, the gun violence is it happens to do with some insecurity and some feelings of inadequacy, and you try to compensate for that, and you be very obsessive with violence, you know, and she also made reference to the gentileas, one's associated ones to testosterone fortitude or to testicle fortitude, it's gentles. She made reference to the gun associated with the penis, and and how it can ejaculate into an ovum, of course, mixed with sperm. So yes, yes, that's integration there. But needs to say, yes, and when a people is genetically recessive, they become very obsessed to try with violence and try to compensate that genetic recessiveness, if I may use that term. yes, but then and you see nowadays that, as I say, I realize that violence is a result of an unresolved status. When you know your status in life, you're more prone to participate in acts of violence. Yes. So nowadays we see that, always have been, I should say, this gun violence. Yes. Having this a deep sense of feeling of insecurity and feelings of inadequacy. Um, so I say I always try to promote the value of self worth. Worth is in degrees, but not in the value. But there's degrees of worth. You know, and degree is due to difficulty and the difficulty of trying to overcome feelings of insecurity and feelings of inadequacy. Am I good enough? Is the inadequacy? Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Yes. When you know that you're worthy enough, you make the transition. Yes. And the insecurity is, you're not when you don't know who you are and where you want to go. You're more prone and more susceptible. As I say, I'm adding to when it comes to violence. And then you hear there's a Islamic teaching, the whispers of Satan, giving you a suggestion but not an answer. Yes. So the answer to the question is a question of governance. Yes, how what that which preoccupies our mind, and that which how we live our lives daily, and that which constantly influences our minds daily. So yes. So I like to say, I like to try to operate as a social health engineer, due to the that which has been socially engineered and constructed uh, to counter that which has, uh, put people in a position to be, destructive as opposed to constructive, and those who try to compensate for their insecurity and feelings of inadequacy, which would lead to violence. Yes, I know you may think that it sounds real simple, but I may think that it's simple. I mean, we have people who go experts who go to school and try to say what makes people violent. Like it's in their genes or something. Nah, I mean, it's genetically. Even though I mentioned something that would consider to be associated with genetics earlier, when it comes to Dr. Welsing and her studying Neely Fuller, you know. With this racial, Neely Fuller talk about this racial showcasing, where black people gonna be put in the front and as if everything is all right. It's racial showcasing. See more and more black millionaires, and if they won't forget all about the race problem. Yes. And then there was three more. I just can't recall the other three right off the top of my head. But one of them, he was talking about how there's going to be some white people going to be, just casualties of war. It's like, and they are going to, hey, going to be eliminated for the collective psychology, if I may use that for the when it comes to white supremacy, racism. You know, some may know about the in this NFL. I mean, not NFL, the NBA, when the so-called white guy spoke out against, said something and derogatory against, I think, a black athlete, and the owner, and he got, of course, maybe, of course, he got some money, and he was out for the bigger picture. It's all business, so he was should be sacrificed. But there's a teaching that says you cannot sacrifice truth for any interest. Only interest is to be sacrificed for truth. Yes. I realize once knowledge is established, the program of gradualism become the way of the path becomes clear. So what is truth? For me, truth is the cause that affects one's reality. Sounds simple, but and truth is established and based upon the consensus. The consensus is considered to be true, and someone, I think Marcus Garvey said, error uncorrected becomes a fact. Yes. So trial and error lead to personal discovery. Yes. So, what is this discussion or talk that would say is all about, right? It's really about learning how to physiologically and psychologically make adjustments. Yes. When I mean psychologically, I really mean with the soul, and the soul is not satisfied. It makes the mind adjust. Yes, it makes the mind adjust. Yes, yeah, too. I mean, the soul is a. I mean, this whole universe is to me is a soul, is a living organism. Is a organism. It is a organism. Yes, and but then again, when I think about it, organism, it constantly it grows, it evolves, and I think what's the guy wrote the book Race Matters? Cornel West. He said there's a difference between intelligence and intellect. People fear one's intellect. But we are in this society supposed to be intelligent beings. But maybe we're not all that intelligent. Maybe we have not fully evolved when we still are, when there is a deep-seated feeling of insecurity and inadequacy, and then we try to compensate it obsessively and aggressively with violence. Yes. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to advancing in excellence the human intellect and one's growth and development unto being mature. Yes. So I say that society is under social reconstruction, where our feelings are becoming desensitized, our thoughts demoralized, our attitude dehumanized, our communication devitalized, and our activity destabilized. So what needs to be stored first is the credibility. One's credibility has been impaired. Yes. When one's impaired, that means their decision and their judgment is it's not good. Yes. So, and that comes to outside influence. The key to social life is family. Yeah, the key to social life is family. Yes. And once you have that, you understand that, talking about family, order, duty, and responsibility that we must give account for. So we're talking about accountability. Life is to be enjoyed, but it's to be lived responsibly. It's to be lived. It's to live responsible. Yes. And we know that responsible, all you're doing is responding to to your ability. So therefore, we must be put ourselves in a position where that we can confide competently in, in cooperation of and being you know in confidence one with another. Yes. And when you have the confidence, you can, in cooperation, you're able to confide in one another. So what that does is it replenishes the social continuity. Yes, the social continuity, the flow of our confidence in cooperating with each other. Yes, if we learn to coexist with one another. Yes. So, uh, yeah, and I liken that unto in regards to this is that it deals with the in the continuity of our confidence in cooperating with one another. Uh, what is the task, the effort, the time, and energy? That is the synergized energy. But in doing so, that the energy must be synergized, it must be coordinated. So that's why I like to say, I like to come in the spirit of cooperation. Yes, you come in the spirit of cooperation, I realize that I like to be guided by coordination. And I speak from the authority of resiliency. So, yes. So, yeah, only thing I can serve is my, is, um, is this here. It says that Christ is a state of development through the process of spiritual consciousness. Yes. It's a title, Christ associated with a title, anointed, which means maturity. So when I'm talking about the state, I'm talking about the condition. Yes, in service. Yes. The condition of my development. That means the environment of my development and the environment of my intellect. Yes, I'm in service to that. And it's through a process. Yes, a process of that development of that process through spiritual. Anything that remains a natural form, a natural state is spiritual. So it's a natural development, a natural process of consciousness. Yes, of that which I serve. Yes. And for the most part, people are only responding to the extent of the damage and the injury that has been done to his or her humanity. Consciously, they're doing that. Rather unconsciously or consciously, rather incompetently or competently. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So, as that be the case, I always say that I like to say that that for the most part, many people are suffering from SLD, social learning disability, when the intellectual aptitude, when the environment is thrown off, one's intellectual aptitude for learning becomes very difficult. So, environment is the key. The environment also plays a part in the key to social life. Yes. So, and maybe we use that key to open the door, and the door to our heart. And the heart. I mean it pertains to the center of our intellect. Yes. So, in closing, I realize in making an adjustment, because you want to be clear. Because you want to be clear. We got to be clear about every effect. Every cause and effect. You must know the desire of the cause and effect. Yes. We must know the desire of the cause in effect, and be clear, and be clear about it. Yes. When I mean be clear about it, because people say we in society, some teachers say we're judged by our intentions as the judge of our actions, or either or, however it is phrased, because intentional by our actions, but we have to realize that the outside influence over of the environment, and when it comes to community life, yes, when it comes to community life, and community is that which we hold in common, and that which we hold in common as a community. Talking about the totality of a community, the totality of a community. Within that community, you are valued. you know, you see a bird that flies. It's valued because it's a part of this community, this universal community. You know, that's why it exists because everything has a reason for being. A cactus would draw the necessary water that it needs to exist. Yes, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Yes. So to take one's life prematurely, you know, that's abbreviated life expectancy. Yes. You know, people like to say, you know, well, it was God's plan. Yeah, no, that's abbreviated life expectancy. Yes, that's one. That's an individual who has not dealt with his deep seated insecurities and feelings of inadequacy. Yes, he don't know how to deal with it. So then the best way becomes very excessive and very aggressive. And then he used an extended weapon to try to compensate. And I tell you, and that causes great harm to the but it's to the people who lose their loved ones prematurely. Yes, and so is there, you know, when one has been convicted of the crime, because the biggest crime for me you could commit is fraud. Yes, you know, you pretend to make promises for something that you're unable to come through, so therefore it puts you at an advantage and put the others at a disadvantage. So it's like having a weapon, you know. But it's the misuse of that weapon. Yes, it's the misuse of that weapon. So the misuse, we're making mockery of ourselves, you know, and anything that is going on is due to humanity, people's own transgression. Yeah, yes, it is. Yes. So I say, and once again, in closing, that we continue to, you know, make the necessary adjustment. And remember, ad is advertising, and I'm not talking about a sense of maybe deliberating you, but you know, you add the you know, that which is just, because and it is meant for us to do so as we continue to um, come in the spirit of cooperation, and we just look at the existence of all life here on this planet of existence and the ecology of it. May we maintain that balance that we need. And I like this, that oneness is stronger than diversity, and unity is stronger than conflict.